everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating a couple of techniques and be using the framed framed flowers from Simon Hurley and also the stencil called Warp Circles. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, hey, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're going to be playing with the stencil and a little bit of some gel plate technique, and we're going to also be playing with this framed flowers. I had a lot of fun playing with this set. You can see that it's had some activity already, but I came up with this final idea and I thought that I'd share it with you, just these couple of techniques. I know you've seen them before. It's nothing new under the sun, like Bitty Penny likes to say. Anyway, right here I've got my, I want to say that's about a 6 by 10, I don't know, my jelly plate. And I've got my big roller. And what I'm going to be using here is I'm going to be using Distress Oxides to color my plate. And I'm going to make 3 cards. So my first set, I've got the Lumberjack Plaid, the Dried Marigold, and Mustard Seed. And you see I'm just kind of placing them random here on the jelly plate. And then I'm going to kind of blend them just a little bit. And then roll off my roller. I'm going to lay the stencil down, then I'm going to lay my piece of cardstock down, and I'm going to give it a push. Now we can get a 4-fer with this. I'm going to pull the stencil off, and with the pattern left behind, I'm going to lay another piece of paper and run it through with my rolly thingy. And this is the pattern that I'm looking for, but wait, there's more, or there can be more anyway. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add a little bit of water to it, and then I'm going to take that other piece, the first piece I pulled, and lay it down in there and just get myself another kind of abstract design. And there, I'm done with that color set. Cleaning off my brayer, that's what that thing's called, and I'll clean off my jelly plate because I'm going with a different color scheme here. And I'm using colors that will blend well together in case I mess up. Okay, if you start using opposite colors in this particular technique and they start to blend, you're just going to get weird colors like brown and brown tints, which, you know, I don't have a problem with brown, not at all, but you know what I mean. So same thing, lay this stencil down, lay this warp bubble stencil down. Lay my piece of paper down, give it some good pressure, and then go ahead and run my brayer over it, and there's background 1, and then we'll do background 2. And pull that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra color here to this one because my color's blended quite a bit. Add some water and then kind of drip off the water, and I'm going to put this background on here, and I like the way that looks, so that's what I'm going to keep. I'm going to clean off and go with one more color combo. So I've got here picked raspberry, and I want some purples, so it looks like I've got wilted violet there. Where's my other color? I'm probably looking for my Kitsch Flamingo. Yep, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. I can't see. Oh, yep, Kitsch Flamingo. That's what I thought. It's been a few days since I made this video. Blend them together again. Lay down my stencil. Lay down my paper. Use my brayer to kind of press it down. And there's background 1. Then let's go ahead and grab background 2. And you notice I'm not laying it in there straight. It doesn't matter. Okay, and let me add just a little bit more purple to this one. Add a little bit of water. Kind of drip the water off. I'm going to this time lay it down And then I'm going to lay my page down onto it. And there I've got my third background. Well, actually my sixth background. So in that short time, we got 6 backgrounds. Here they are all dried and trimmed, all trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to be saving these little strips because we'll be using them later. Let me just kind of move them off to the side. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to trim these pieces. I'm going to decide which pieces I'm going to use for this session, and I'll put the other ones aside. And I'm going to trim these on a diagonal. And the way that I like to do it is not all 3 at once. I like to put the bottom right corner at the 1-inch mark, and then the bottom left corner at the 3-inch mark. Or maybe it was 3 1/2. I couldn't see it. And I get 2 identical pieces. Yeah, it's kind of an accident, but it is what it is. I think I'm doing 3 1/2. I might be doing 3. You could probably, yeah, 3 1/2. So 1 inch and 3 1/2 at that angle. I end up getting 2 almost identical pieces. So now we've got, if we were to do that to all 6 pieces, we'd have 12 background pieces all ready to go. Of course, we're only using 3 today. So there I'm getting that top left corner to the, or bottom left corner to the 3 1/2, bottom right to the 1. Okay, that's done. Pick the ones I want and we'll get started. And I'll just set the other ones aside, and it doesn't matter which ones you use. Who cares? I just want 3 different color schemes. Now I'm going to work with the each one of them. So I'm going to do 1 each, and it'll be like a little set. You could give it as a gift set or something like that if you wanted to. I'm going to pull out this long one, and it is kind of oddball sized. So, you know, when you're working with it, you have to think about the size of it. But what I'm going for is sort of a monochromatic look with just a pop of a different color, maybe in the same color family, maybe opposite, maybe analogous. Just depends. Depends on my mood. I'm not particularly designed myself to the color wheel because I just go with what I like, and that usually works out. So I'm going to stamp this down in archival ink, and I'm going to go ahead and use this. I want to say it's either Ripe Persimmon or Carved Pumpkin. I can't see it. One of them. And the reason I'm stamping down in the archival is because I'm going to be wanting to color with some water. And I don't want anything to happen to my ink. And parts of this are going to show. So the thing about this stamp set is that the leaves, the broad leaves and the leaves in the stamp set are all solid. So if I were to stamp this down in black, I would have black stems and leaves. And that's not what I'm looking for at this point. I mean, if you're looking for a dramatic look, it's going to look great in black and white or whatever color you choose. But I'm kind of looking for more subtle. And I'm kind of at war here with this stamp, trying to get it to stamp down the ink. But I'll get it. I just keep going until I have it. Just giving more and more pressure. I think what happened is I forgot to put my mouse pad in my mini mink. I think that's what happened. Because it's just not quite touching. And don't know why I'm getting out the guppy ink. No idea. I guess I'm thinking quietly to myself, trying to figure out why this won't stamp. Okay, so I guess I'm deciding on colors that I'm going to paint it. Okay. Sorry about that. Got myself a little confused there. Like I said, it's been a few days since I made this video and I hadn't done the voiceover. And I'm using the guppy paint and the Slippery When Wet paint to paint in the little floral petals. So we're still going in a monochromatic theme. And I'll go ahead and speed up the painting here. So I'm doing the centers in the darker color, and then I'll do the petals in the lighter color. And I'm just using some water and a watercolor brush. And I'll show you the trick here in a minute, my plan. So I'm doing the archival ink because I'm going to be painting these, but I'm not terribly worried about the stems or the leaves at this point because I'm going to stamp them with something different. So I'm just going in and filling in all these flowers. You have to look closely because some of them are kind of stashed, hidden in there. They're hard to see. This one's not too bad. There's one down towards the bottom that's sort of hidden. If you don't pay attention, it'll get away from you. All right, so just simple painting. Now I'm going to come in with actually some Distress Oxide. Same color as I used for my initial stamping. I'm going to stamp it with the oxide, and this is going to give it a nice solid stamping without altering the color. There we go. There's our first one. Okay, get my stamp cleaned off, pick it up. Now let's start to assemble the first card. So I've got my piece and I've got my little long strip here. And I'm just going to color that strip the same color. And it looks like that's spice marmalade. And then I'm going to go around the edge and just kind of fill in here just to kind of remove some of the white. I'll go ahead and clean up my little mess. And I'm going to grab a 4.25 by 5, well, it's going to be a 4 by 5.25 card base to match up. And I'll go ahead and, you could put this any way you want, but I'm going to put it this way. I'll go ahead and glue this little diagonal piece down. Just match up the corners and the sides, and we're good to go. And then I'll take this strip and glue the strip down. I'm just going to take a paper towel because it's edge to edge and I don't want to get glue all over. Go ahead and just place some glue on my strip. Glue it down. It just kind of helps to, I don't know, enhance that section, separate the section, whatever. And then I'll just trim off the excess. Now I need to get my flowers down. I'm going to trim it very, very close to that line. Now I don't want it on the line because the line is not a straight line. It's sort of a wavy line. Get this as close as I can, and see it's still a little too tall, so I'm going to have to trim the top and bottom. And I'll just trim that by hand. And just try and stay right on that line so I still have that delineation. We modify as humans, right? And then decide on placement. I think I like it right there. So see, I'm gonna have to fit a sentiment there somewhere too. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim these side ones off too. And I'm trying again to kind of follow that little wavy line. Because I want to make sure that I'm able to fit a sentiment there somewhere. I mean, you don't have to use a sentiment. You can put one on the inside. There, much better. I have much more room there. And let's see here. I'm going to put this down on an off yellow card base. And I like to sort of make a composition of my cards before I actually glue them together to make sure I'm happy with the composition. Oh, my hand's a purple mess, isn't it? I'm lucky I don't get that ink everywhere. And just kind of get that centered on there. good with that. And I think I'm gonna pop these up on some foam tape just to add some dimension, and because it's not gonna sit flat because obviously we have a bumpy surface there. So I'm gonna use my 1-inch piece, and then I'm gonna grab my other roll that is the same height, but it's a thinner strip because I'm not gonna be able to fit 2 of them. Man, I can't lay these things straight to save my life. And good thing you don't have to. I'm going to audition that on the card, see how I like it. Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'll go ahead and pull the backers on and stick her down. Then we'll move on to the next card, and I'll do the sentiments last. Sentiments are I struggle with, so stick that down. That right there is where I'm gonna have my sentiment for whichever one I decide to use. And then let's go ahead and get started on our next one. Let me grab my purple background piece. We're gonna go through the same process. I've got my white card base here, or my white card front. I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping next, and I'm going to choose this set for the purple. Sticky, this is the only one I haven't used yet. And go ahead and set that piece aside, and let's get this stamped down first. And I am using my Simon Hurley Stark White cardstock for stamping. And it doesn't matter where I stamp it really, because I'm going to be trimming it up. But right here, I'm just conditioning the stamp a little bit so it doesn't stick so bad to the paper, and it stamps down nicely for me. And here you're going to see where I run into a little bit of trouble because I don't have the right shade of purple in my archivals, but it's okay. So what I have here is Dusty Concord. And I might have the right shade of purple, but I didn't have it in the box right there in front of me, so that's that. And I'm not too worried about the leaves, but in hindsight, probably should have done those. I mean, the flowers. No, the leaves. But so I end up with kind of a two-tone effect, but I'm not mad. It comes out kind of cool. So, you know, there's always that. My main thing that I wanted to get stamped down was the flowers because I want to paint them and then I'll do my stamping. So let's see what color I'm going to paint these with. I'm going to go ahead and paint them with Crown Me. And I'm just going to make these solid. I'm not going to go with a bunch of tones. I'm going to keep it simple, but I plan on putting some sparklies on this purple. So there's that. I'm just filling in all the flowers, or what I think are flowers. I think maybe in hindsight, some of those parts are actually leaves, but since they weren't solid, I went ahead and made them flowers. And I'm going to be using Nuvo, oh gosh, what is that stuff called? Anyway, it's a sparkly pen thingy, sparkly paintbrush thingy. And it's kind of opalescent or iridescent, I guess, over the tops of those. I mean, these aren't realistic looking flowers, so I'm not worried about too much realistic painting. Want kind of a little watercolor look. Spit it out. Now, this is my third voiceover today. I'm getting tired. I should do these as I make the videos, but sometimes I'm just too busy to sit down and edit. I want to get the video cranked out and then, you know, worry about editing later, and then sometimes I forget where I was. All right, so now I'm going to come in with the Wilted Violet. And I like using oxides for this because of the great coverage that you get using an oxide. And here you're going to see where I get that two-tone effect because the archival is a different shade of purple. But it looks cool. I'm okay with it. Okay. Lots of purple. One more though. One more just to make sure I've got great coverage. I think there's one spot there that just doesn't want to behave. Come on, behave. Yep, I'm done. I don't want to mess with it anymore. And I'll be fussy cutting that one out because I've got those leaves that kind of come off the edge. So I can't cut, you know, like a straight border. I go ahead and clean off my Misty tool here. And then we'll go ahead and put together our base, our foundation. And grab one of these strips. And then I'm going to use the oxide again to color in the strip and then to add some depth and dimension to the stenciled piece that we did. And I sure hope you guys speed up my videos when you play them. I know I speed up videos when I play them. And I'm so used to listening to them sped up that when I forget to speed them up, they seem like too slow. So I'm just doing the very edges here, not going deep or heavy with color, just adding a little bit more color. All right, let's get my purple cleaned up here. There we go. This is a cool little set. I will be using the sentiments from a different set because they're cursive and I think they're really pretty. The sentiments in this set are just fine. Nothing wrong with them at all. And some of them say the same thing and they're just written in different handwriting. So I wanted the cursive from the Zest set that came out last year. Was it last year? I don't know. Time's getting by me. I think it was. Oh, my hands are a hot mess. I don't know how I'm not getting stuff all over because they're stained. Now I'll grab my paper towel and just give it a push with the paper towel, and that'll also pick up any excess glue that comes out the sides. Okay, and then let's get the strip down. Lost my strip. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. So as I'm recording this, it's 2 days before the actual release, but I noticed that Simon has been showing little hints. I'm like, dude, you're cheating, man. I don't know. I was doing a video the other day and I took a live and I take a picture of my desk and I had that lunar paste sitting on my desk, but I checked it and you couldn't tell what lunar paste it was. So there I've got them all three together because there's no point in, waiting. And so see, I used the hello from the Zest and the thank you from the Zest and the you got this. And then I used some little confetti from this calls for confetti. And there we've got our 3 cards. using the Warp Bubble stencil and using the Framed Florals. And then I use the sentiments from the Zest set. I like the font. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Bye-bye.